The bustling city of Guangzhou, a beacon of commerce and culture in southern China, was caught off guard on April 1, 2025. Known for its vibrant markets, towering skyscrapers and rich history, the city was unprepared for the sudden and violent upheaval that was about to unfold. A powerful earthquake registering a magnitude of 6.2 on the Richter scale shook the region with a ferocity not felt in over 3 decades. The ground trembled with an intensity that sent shockwaves through the hearts of its residents. Buildings swayed precariously, windows shattered into 1,000 pieces, and the ground beneath seemed to ripple like a disturbed pond. The city's infrastructure, though modern and robust, was no match for the sheer force of nature. The epicenter, located near the town of Donggan in Guangzhou City, bore the brunt of nature's fury. This small town, nestled in the heart of the region, found itself at the mercy of the Earth's violent convulsions. The initial shock was followed by a wave of panic as residents, jolted from their routines, scrambled for safety. People ran through the streets, their faces etched with fear and confusion, seeking refuge from the relentless shaking. Streets moments ago teeming with life were now filled with the sounds of car alarms and the cries of frightened citizens. The once bustling avenues were eerily empty, save for the echoes of chaos and the distant wail of sirens. Dust and debris filled the air, obscuring the once familiar skyline in a haze of uncertainty and fear. The city's iconic landmarks were shrouded in a thick cloud of dust, making it difficult to recognize the place they called home. For those who witnessed it, the day was forever etched in their memories, a stark reminder of the immense power that lies dormant beneath our feet. The emotional toll was palpable, as people grappled with the sudden and violent disruption of their lives. The earthquake's impact was immediate and devastating. Streets were cracked open, buildings reduced to rubble, and the once orderly cityscape was left in disarray. The tremor toppled buildings, severed power lines and left thousands injured. The city's infrastructure was severely compromised, with power outages and communication breakdowns adding to the chaos. Rescue workers, overwhelmed by the scale of the disaster, raced against time to pull survivors from the rubble. Their efforts were heroic, as they navigated the dangerous and unstable ruins to save lives. Hospitals, pushed to their limits, struggled to cope with the influx of injured, their corridors echoing with the anguished cries of pain and fear. Medical staff worked tirelessly, their faces a mix of determination and exhaustion. As darkness descended, casting an eerie glow over the devastated city, the true extent of the disaster began to emerge. The once vibrant city was now a shadow of its former self, cloaked in an unsettling stillness. The once vibrant metropolis lay wounded, its spirit shaken, yet amidst the chaos, stories of resilience and courage began to surface. The human spirit, though battered, remained unbroken. Neighbors helping neighbors, strangers sharing food and water, and first responders working tirelessly to bring order to the chaos, painted a picture of hope amidst the despair. In the face of such overwhelming adversity, the community's strength and solidarity shone through, offering a glimmer of hope for the future. Days before the devastating earthquake that shook Guangzhou, a smaller tremor had rattled the nearby city of Maoming. On March 30th, a 3.0 magnitude earthquake, while significantly weaker, served as an unsettling prelude to the catastrophe that awaited. Though causing minimal damage, the tremor rippled through the region, leaving behind a sense of unease, a subtle tremor of apprehension in its wake. While not strong enough to cause significant structural damage, the Maoming earthquake served as a stark reminder of the region's vulnerability to seismic activity. Whispers of the tremor spread quickly, amplified by social media, and for a brief moment it seemed as if the Earth itself was sending a warning. This premonition, however, was quickly dismissed by most as nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Life in Guangzhou continued at its usual frenetic pace, the bustling metropolis seemingly oblivious to the subtle warning signs emanating from the Earth's depths. The city, a symbol of China's economic prowess, pulsated with an energy that belied the geological forces at play beneath its surface. The March 30th earthquake, though minor in comparison to the impending disaster, served as a harbinger of the seismic forces brewing beneath the surface. It was a tremor that foreshadowed a much larger event, a subtle shift in the Earth's tectonic plates that would soon unleash its fury upon the unsuspecting city of Guangzhou. The epicenter of the April 1st earthquake, near the town of Donggan in Guangzhou City, became a scene of unimaginable devastation. The ground shook with a ferocity that left the residents in shock and disbelief. The once peaceful town, surrounded by lush rice paddies and dotted with traditional Hakka houses, was transformed into a landscape of rubble and despair. The serene beauty of the countryside was replaced by a haunting silence, broken only by the cries of those searching for loved ones. The earthquake's raw power ripped through the town, leaving its mark on every structure, every street, and every life. The force of nature was indiscriminate, sparing nothing in its path. Buildings, some centuries old, crumbled like sandcastles under the force of the tremor. These structures, which had stood the test of time, were no match for the earthquake's relentless power. Homes, shops, and schools, once symbols of community and life, were reduced to piles of broken concrete and twisted metal. The places where people once gathered, learned, and lived were now unrecognizable. The air, thick with dust and the smell of pulverized concrete, hung heavy with the weight of loss and sorrow. The once clear skies were now obscured by a haze of destruction. The earthquake's impact on Dongguan was immediate and merciless. In a matter of moments, the town was transformed from a place of tranquility to a scene of chaos. The tremor tore through the town, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The path of the earthquake was marked by shattered buildings and broken lives. Roads, once bustling with activity, were rendered impassable, littered with debris and punctuated by gaping fissures. The lifelines of the town were severed, isolating it from the outside world. The town's infrastructure, its lifeline to the outside world, lay in ruins. Bridges collapsed and roads were torn apart, making rescue efforts even more challenging. Amidst the devastation, stories of both tragedy and resilience emerged. The human spirit, though battered, was not broken. Families were torn apart, homes lost, and lives forever altered. The emotional toll was as significant as the physical destruction. Yet, even in the face of such unimaginable loss, the human spirit shone through. Acts of kindness and solidarity became the new foundation of the community. Neighbors helped neighbors, sharing what little food and water they had left. The bonds of community grew stronger in the face of adversity. Rescue workers, many of them volunteers, toiled tirelessly, their determination fueled by hope and the will to survive. Their efforts were a beacon of hope in a time of darkness, showing that even in the worst of times, humanity can rise to the occasion. As the ground shook with terrifying intensity, one resident of Dongguan, a young woman named Li Na, found herself trapped on the third floor of her apartment building. The walls around her seemed to close in, the very structure she called home, now a potential tomb. With each aftershock, the walls around her groaned and swayed, threatening to collapse. The once sturdy building now felt like a fragile house of cards, ready to crumble at any moment. Fear, raw and primal, coursed through her veins. Her heart raced and her mind was a whirlwind of panic and dread. Lina's escape route, the stairwell, lay blocked by debris, leaving her stranded and terrified. The path to safety was obstructed and every second felt like an eternity. The air was thick with dust, making it difficult to breathe, and the only sounds were the terrifying creaking of the building and the distant wail of sirens. The world outside seemed both close and impossibly far away. Time seemed to stand still as she frantically searched for a way out, her heart pounding in her chest. Each breath was a struggle, each moment a battle against the rising tide of fear. In a moment of desperation, fueled by adrenaline and the instinct to survive, Lina made a daring decision. She knew that staying put meant certain doom, and her only chance was to take a leap of faith. She climbed onto the ledge of her apartment window, her body trembling, her mind racing. The ledge was narrow, and the height dizzying, but she had no other choice. Below, the ground seemed miles away, a dizzying drop that filled her with both terror and a strange sense of resolve. She knew that this was her only chance to escape the crumbling building. Closing her eyes, Lina took a deep breath and leaped. The moment was surreal, a blend of fear and determination. The fall seemed to last an eternity, a blur of motion and fear. Her mind raced with thoughts of survival and she braced herself for the impact. She landed awkwardly on a pile of soft debris, the impact knocking the air from her lungs. Pain shot through her body, but she was alive. Bruised and shaken, but miraculously alive, Lina had survived. Her body ached, but the relief of being alive was overwhelming. Her story, one of fear and desperate courage, became a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. Lina's leap of fear was not just a physical act, but a symbol of hope and survival against all odds.